listening to the newest episode of Falling Upwards. It's me, MA, opening as usual. Gosh, I sound lethargic, don't I? It's a Tuesday. Okay, maybe that's warranted then. Who likes Tuesdays? Does anyone like Tuesdays? Let us know in the comments.
Not me.
And with us, as usual, because she's always here, is someone that has just confessed she does not like Tuesdays. It's Miss Maddie Armstrong. How you doing, Maddie?
My arms are not strong, but I am forever Armstrong.
Love that. I don't have strong arms either.
Like the sticks.
Yeah, I feel like
sticks.
we have very similar arms. They're just stick arms.
Ooh, did you see that little thing trying to come out though?
She's trying to flex.
Look at that teeny tiny little bump there.
Yeah, it's like a tiny bump that's like, well, I do exist.
From carrying all the plates at the cafe, they are heavy plates. Really thick china.
Oh, man. Well, should we jump straight into mad news?
Yeah. So, when was the last time you went to Milan?
Like March, maybe?
Was that
last fashion week?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Yeah.
Well, did you know there is an old law that says if you frown, you can get fined?
Nope, I did not know that. Hello, listeners. What you can't hear is my very confused reaction of just staring blankly into the screen.
I just knew all the noise was in MA's head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it's nice, but it also feels like toxic optimism.
Yeah, no, obviously there's no like police enforcing this law right now or anything. They're not like, oh, you smile, or that's 80 euros or whatever. That's not how the police works, but at least we know Maddie's not had many interactions with the police.
That's wild. Wait, Milan law cannot smile.
So I was looking up obscure laws, and there was this old one from the Austro-Hungarian era.
Wow.
And yeah, it said that if you don't smile, you can get fined, which is nuts.
If we have any Italian listeners or any Milanese listeners in particular,
can you back this up?
Please tell us, did you know this? Have you known anyone that has been punished for this?
Obviously.
Do you make jokes of it because you know that it's not enforced? How does it manifest? Please tell us. We'd love to know. We'll put a contact address in the description so you can tell us. Or comment on our Instagram and tell us.
In March, were you smiling a lot? Or were you frowning?
I mean, it was raining cats and dogs, so whilst I was happy to be there, I was kind of having a bath tipped on my head.
An outlaw.
Every day.
Ma's breaking the law.
And now joining us on the lawn is a guest that we recorded all the way back when we managed to catch them performing this summer, the wonderful AlienBlaze. Please feel free to pause the podcast to go look her up, to check her out. She is genuinely one of my favorite people that I think I have ever interviewed. She has just such a wonderful energy to her. As you know, with some of these interviews, Maddie is listening to for the very first time. So you get to hear exactly what Maddie's thinking as we're listening. Woo! It's exciting.
We're in this together, listeners.
Yeah, we love impromptu Maddie Armstrong thoughts. So without further ado, let's catch up with AlienBlaze.
This is actually from Korea.
Is it?
Yes.
Tell me about the brand. Tell me about...
it's a Korean brand.
Okay.
It's by Scoot Apparel.
Okay.
I don't know if you know the designer Me Love Me a Lot.
No.
But it's her brand. So
nice.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Like, I'm the biggest fan of her clothing. So
how long have you kind of followed the brand?
Oh, a long time. She started releasing her collections quite a few years ago now.
Okay.
I've had the trousers for like a few years, and then she brought out a matching coat, and
nice.
I was like, I've got to have it, please.
Is this an exclusive? Is this what you're going to be wearing during your set, or are you doing something different?
I'm changing. I've got a completely different outfit for my set today.
Okay. Little pause there. For anybody that has checked our content out on social media, you will see in the video the outfit that she references. And as a lover of fashion, and I know you are as well, Maddie, it absolutely just warmed my soul that she opened talking about her outfit and plugging the brands that she loved, and especially, you know, the Korean brands that she loved, the fact that she'd spent so much time checking them out. It's funny because I was going to start by asking about your fashion style.
Yeah.
Because I feel like something that's so distinctive whenever you're looking at your socials, whether you're your album artwork, anything, it's that you really seem to tie in your fashion, how you dress, what your image is, with the sound.
Yes.
Is that something you've always had in mind? Like, how does that work for you?
100%, yeah. I mean, I think that that's the thing about music is it does tie in with fashion. It has to tie in with fashion. You know, if you look back at like music scenes in the past, like with the punk movement in the 1970s, it wouldn't have been that movement without Vivienne Westwood. And, you know, you can look at grunge, you can look at all of the scenes, you know. So for me, it's so important to have like a really, really strong image and a really strong fashion sense. You know, when you think of like icons now, like Lady Gaga, or even like with Blackpink, they have such a strong aesthetic. All of the K-pop bands, they have such a strong aesthetic. So yeah, for me, I absolutely love to find up-and-coming designers. So there's some designers that I bought from who have actually just like exploded recently, but I've been following their journey for ages, like Laura Andrushko, Henriette, Paulina Rousseau, who I'm like all huge fans of, and a lot of designers that are based very London centric as well.
Okay.
But also I actually make a lot of my own clothes.
Nice. Wait, tell me more.
So basically started upcycling in the lockdown. So in 2020 started making
No, don't worry, man. For reference, her phone went off and she was very polite and sweet about it. Any thoughts whilst we're paused, Maddie?
Did she study fashion?
She will talk more about that in a second. Do you want me to carry on?
Yeah, carry on.
So I started upcycling in the lockdown. Started making clothes out of, so how it started was there was this designer that I absolutely loved called Wesley Berryman, and he made an outfit for Bella Hadid.
Okay.
But it wasn't available anywhere, so I was like, I'm gonna see if I can make that myself.
Nice.
So I got a pair of old jeans and I basically made the entire outfit. Completely upcycled, and I really got into it from there. So actually quite a few things that are on my Instagram are things that I have made myself.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to like put an outfit together?
Just like an outfit I've made?
Yeah, exactly.
To be honest, quite a while, because I don't use a sewing machine. I do all hand sewing. Yeah.
That's so impressive. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it takes me quite a while.
I'm pausing here just because Maddie's reaction to I do all hand sewing was my reaction at the time, which was
That's
like
mad.
there are no words because it's so impressive.
I mean,
it is so impressive.
We did textiles in school. You did it, right?
Yeah.
We've all tried a little bit on the sewing machine. The sewing machine is hard enough, but by hand?
Yeah.
How do you make it like straight? You know, how do you make it all perfect? Oh my goodness.
Like I've had, as you know, the wonderful privilege of working with designers and knowing designers that do a lot by hand. And every time they're like, yeah, I'm just going to do this. I just know what to do with the thread and to fold over this thing to make this thing happen. I'm like, you could be Harry Potter right now. I don't know how you're doing that. And then for her to say, well, I just do all the outfits by hand. Like you think of how tough some materials are, for her to have that ingenuity. Like, can you imagine like stitching leather or PU or whatever by hand?
No.
Like,
I'm quite shaky sometimes. Not when photographing concerts. I'm perfect at that. But like
at sewing, at hand sewing.
Yeah, like little things like that. I cannot imagine having the coordination and the concentration to just get that perfect with every single tiny little one. It would drive you mad. AlienBlaze could do brain surgery, is what we've learnt.
I mean, that on top of, you imagine her picking out all the materials, spending time cutting out every single piece, and then sewing it on top of that. She's a genius, indeed.
And a lot of the pieces, to be honest, were a real labour of love. So, for example, the Wesley Berryman trousers that I made, I think they took me about a month.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like at it all day every day because I you know, had to like...
It's like a continuous project.
Yeah, very much like a labour of love, as I say. It's definitely one of those things where you can't do too much of it in one go, because it's too much. And I think like definitely this year I might invest in a sewing machine, because I've really gotten into just like doing all of that, and I see how you can make even more amazing creations like with a sewing machine. So yeah, definitely will be making more clothes in the future. Hopefully bring out my own clothing line as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you, like, say when you're putting together an outfit like that, do you go, I'm picking an outfit thinking, oh, if I ever get to perform this song, that outfit would be perfect for that song?
Yeah.
Like, are you ever tying it in, or are you just kind of going with the flow?
I think with music videos specifically, I often think, you know, this is what I would wear for a music video. I think with stage outfits specifically, it's a bit more kind of on the fly, and seeing what I have in my wardrobe and making the outfits really work based on the occasion. I do like to tailor my outfits as well, obviously, to what I'm doing. So obviously today with the festival, but yeah, I mean, I've worn a lot of different outfits, and I think it's difficult being an artist as well, because on the one hand you kind of, there's like this expectation that you like don't want to be seen in the same outfit twice. Right. But then also you really want to, you know, it's kind of wasteful as well in a way. So I absolutely love that. I think it was, I can't remember if it was Adele maybe, she actually wore the same outfit twice on the red carpet, but just like with a little bit of a different twist. And I love that kind of like nod to upcycling in the environment.
Yeah. That's very cool. I mean, something that really captured my attention about you as an artist as well is your drive to, say, talking about your inspirations, like The Cure, and how that influenced you as a musician. Like, as your career has grown and grown and grown, and, you know, you've spoken at length about, as a guitarist, wanting to encourage more women specifically to be musicians 100%. And to create their own work. How has your journey in the industry influenced your vision in that respect?
I think specifically with a nod to guitar playing, I definitely still think to this day that there aren't enough women in the industry and outside of it that actually do music, but also do, you know, rock music and play an instrument, not just specifically guitar, but instruments in general. And it's definitely something that I've really found important to my journey. In terms of the industry, I actually started as a lead guitarist. That was my kind of goal originally, was I just want to be a really, really great guitarist. Not even necessarily a singer, just I want to be as good a guitarist as I can, and then maybe join a band. And then that didn't happen. And actually, like, something that I've talked about in interviews previously is, like, the whole thing with music and everything is almost like, I feel like it was meant to be and meant to happen, because I didn't plan any of it at all, to be honest with you. So, you know, when I was 14, I got really, really sick. And that was when I decided to pick up the guitar, because I literally, like, did not step foot outside the house for a year. So that was when my mum suggested to me, she was like, why don't you pick up the guitar, you know, and just try and learn a little bit. So that was how I got,
like, as an outlet.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I got really good, and then I just really connected with it. It was a way to kind of, like, put energy into something, and something that I could do at home. And yeah, basically from there I absolutely loved it, so I got lessons. Moving on from that, I obviously then turned to singing as well, and starting writing songs. Every single song that I write, I still write, well, a lot of the songs that I write starting on the guitar, and then, you know, building around that, all starting with this kind of acoustic, if you will. So, like, I recently posted a clip to Instagram, which I did, which was kind of showing how the song started and how it's become this, like, completely different dancey vibe now, with my record Toxic. But it started just as, like, this totally different acoustic thing. But yeah, in terms of inspiring women to play the guitar, I think because it's been so important to my journey and so important in me being able to get respect in the industry, I think it's something that I want to definitely inspire more people to do, because I just think, you know, it's so empowering to women specifically. It's still such a male-dominated field, as I've already said. So it's one of those things where you feel like it's important for more girls to be in the space, and especially young girls as well. I want to be able to say, like, you can do it, you know.
We've got a pensive Maddie face.
Pensive?
Yeah, pensive Maddie face. What are you thinking, Maddie?
I love female guitarists.
Me too.
So cool. The first I don't even want to call it a concert because it was just a tiny gig in a bar, but the first gig I ever shot was this sort of local rock band, and they had I think she was a bassist, but she was so cool, and I love chatting to her, and I feel a bit called out because there is just an electric friend sitting a meter away from me called Pinky that I haven't picked up in a few months, and now I feel quite inspired to pick it up again. See, she's inspiring me, so clearly she can inspire.
Something I enjoyed so much about talking with her and just hearing her break down all her different passions, from fashion to, obviously we're talking about music right now, is how much she is clearly so aware of the impact that she has on other people with her platform as a musician, as an artist. Like, hearing her talk about, obviously she was ill, and her being ill really sparked so much now of her journey. Like, if she hadn't been ill, would she have ever learnt the guitar? That's a wild thing to think about, but to go from that to actually, how does what I do give purpose beyond just me? I love hearing that in people, and to hear that in somebody whose career is just starting out, where, it's one thing if you're like a Beyonce and you have a platform of millions and millions. So the idea that every little thing you do can genuinely make an impact, in comparison to somebody where you're just starting out, I think a lot of people would say, please just do your best. Do your best, work hard, look after yourself as much as you can, because you and I, we both talk about this a lot, where, when you are starting out in the industry, you're given crumbs and often you have to work for very little. I think both of us would tell anybody, please just do your best as you. But for her from the get-go to say, no, like, this has a greater purpose beyond just me enjoying making music, beyond me just enjoying fashion. All of this has a greater message that can really change somebody, like you right now, going, yeah, maybe I'll play the guitar again.
When we finish recording, I'm gonna try a few riffs.
I didn't know you played the guitar.
Oh, I'm like still beginner, but I went straight to electric. I'm not an acoustic person.
Really?
I love an electric guitar. I love a solo. You know this.
Really? I know you do. But I would never I would always pick my acoustics over my electric.
That's fair. Do you play?
I don't hate it,
Do you
though,
play ukulele?
but yes.
Of course you do. I may play so many instruments.
I don't like it as much as guitar, though.
Less strings.
But there's like a brightness to it. There's like a happiness to it. Like, whenever you hear the ukulele, even if it's a sad song, it's still not as sad as
gentle.
Wear it on the cello or something.
But like, back to the whole sort of making an impact thing. It was when she mentioned about like young girls seeing what she does and things like that. Like, we all, even people that don't have any level of fame, we actually have way more impact than we think we do. There could be like a young kid that we just meet someday, just, I don't know, bump into in a supermarket or something, and they're just like, oh, I love your whatever, and then you say, oh, I do this and whatever, and they're like, that's so cool. Like, you can make such an impact in just a tiny, seemingly stupid way, by being, I mean, it's not a nice word, but being a nobody. You actually aren't. No one is, really, because we're all making impacts on other people all the time.
I mean, that's the weird thing about celebrity culture in general, right? It creates this divide between, are you, to use your parlance, are you a nobody or are you somebody? And actually, the reality of it is nobody is a nobody. It's just, are some people celebrities, and that's a very specific way of life, and that's a very specific way of being. But you choosing, actually, I don't want that. That doesn't make you a nobody. That just makes you incredibly conscious of wanting to live a different life from a certain type of person. But obviously when you're young, you know, so much on social media influences you. And it's interesting, actually. I think AlienBlaze has done a little op-ed about social media. She's a very, for anybody who, in case you haven't got this already, she is so eloquent and so erudite in what she thinks about. And I love that. I absolutely love that. But, you know, social media does create this veneer of, oh, you need these amount of followers to be somebody, or you need to have this kind of attention to be a somebody. But actually, in real life, it has nothing to do with that. Choosing to live your life in a certain way that is more public or less public, that is a lifestyle choice. And why, you know, if you decide that actually what defines me having a good life is living on a farm with my dogs, that sounds great right now, not gonna lie, and to go completely off the grid, that doesn't make you a nobody. That just means that you have no interest in living life a certain way that garners you a certain amount of attention or business or whatever. But it's damaging, you know, because
no, the world that we live in, it forces you to just constantly feel guilty about what you're doing or not doing. And I've struggled with this personally recently, with just feeling kind of useless, you know? Like, if I, you know, what am I actually helping? What am I actually doing? But I've been trying to think about it in a different way. Well, I've got like a few small close friends that are very dear to me. You yourself are included, Emma. And if I can just do my best to be there for them and to be good friends to them, then that's all the purpose I'll ever have as a human already fulfilled, you know? And I think if we all just have like a mindset more simple and kind to ourselves like that, but obviously kind to others and not like selfish or anything, then we'll all be happy. Life summarized.
enjoy what you have. Don't worry about other people. Be happy. And be nice.
And be nice. Linking to our first episode.
All the way back. We love the throwback.
Yeah.
Cool.
Be nice.
Let's.
Okay, back to AlienBlaze.
Back to the wonderful AlienBlaze. Something that we like to ask everybody is, there's so much pressure on young people today around success and failure and image. 100%. Do you have a favourite failure of yours?
I wouldn't say I have a favourite failure. I think the thing is with being in the music industry, as you've already touched on, is it's possible to fail at any given moment.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think what I would say is it's very, very important to take note of all your failures and say, okay, well, every single person who has gone on to succeed on a massive scale, they had 100 failures to their one success. And you have to look at your failures, you have to embrace them and say, okay, well, I learned from that. I'm moving forwards now. And, you know, I look back on, you know, throughout the music industry and my career in music, and, you know, there are loads of things I've done that I think I could have done that so much better. I could have done this, I could have done that. But I think it's important to have these failures so that you can say, you know, I got to learn from that. I got to take from it what I can, and I got to, you know, move forwards now, not look back.
What do you think, because I'll leave the message for the end, but what do you think of her thoughts on her favourite failure, Maddie? It is our cornerstone question, after all.
A lot of our guests seem to say a similar thing about failure. And they always, I'm not saying this is bad, but they always want to make it a thing you got to learn from, or, you know, it can't truly be a failure. It's got to be something positive. But what me and Emily are trying to do here is tell you it's okay to completely flop sometimes. Face plant in the mud. It's fine. Just get back up. Just breathe. You know, there wasn't some big, deep message from the universe it was trying to tell you by pushing you into that muddy puddle. You just tripped and fell. And now you got to get up.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. An element I liked about her answer was the idea of really facing them as they were. I mean, there's that moment where she says, you know, you've got to sit and take stock of them. And, you know, sometimes I think, to your point as well, Maddie, we do have guests on, and the whole idea is we hear everyone's opinion on it and nothing's right or wrong. Where it's very much like, it's worth it if it's positive, it's worth it if you move forward. But sometimes, you know, even just having the courage to, as she says, just face it, to take stock of them and to look at them as they are, sometimes that is enough. It really is enough to have that courage, to be able to even just, you know, how many of us find it difficult to look at ourselves in the mirror when we've had a bad day, or there's something that we don't like about ourselves that day. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is just look at it and go, I'm looking you in the eyes, and that's enough right now.
Do you remember that phrase?
That's the most courageous thing.
Rage quit.
Yes. I'm excited to see where you go with this, though.
Well, I just think it's so brave to not rage quit, you know? Because we all get that one point in life where we just really want to let it all out and just throw it all out the window. You know, this is not worth it. But it's incredibly brave to stumble, to be face down in that puddle, and to not throw a fit about it and leave, to like keep going and to just move past it. You know, it's perfectly valid to let your emotions out, but to say, no, my purpose and what I want to do is so important to me that I'm going to keep going despite this terrible stumbling block I've had. That's incredibly brave.
Absolutely. And I think she's the perfect ambassador for that kind of point of view as well, because for anybody who's seen her live, they will know that she runs with her sets. And this is episodes where I try to, on this podcast in general, I try to swear as minimally as possible. But I will swear in this moment, and it will be this one moment that means that we have to put the explicit little badge on it.
Thanks for the warning, May.
Yeah, that's fine. She gives no shits when she performs, and you can feel that energy from her. There's like a very honest. Sometimes I'm like loth to say powerful, because I don't think a woman should have to, you know, show a certain level of strength to be called powerful. But I think she does genuinely have like a very powerful energy to her when she performs. So what you said just made me think of, you know, she's a great ambassador for that. Be angry. Awesome. You don't have to quit, though. You know, own what's happening to you. Highly recommend go check out AlienBlaze if you have not checked it out live ever before.
I love a bit of passion and rage on stage.
I genuinely think, and I mean, Maddie knows that I like to see the good in everything, even when all my friends will be like, what is wrong with you? But in this case, I genuinely think she is, there's just something about her, and I think she's a big star for the future. She's definitely one to watch.
That's awesome.
So we love those artists like that. So
also, can you imagine, I had this thought earlier when doing the fashion bit, can you imagine she does her own merch, but she sews it?
Can I just say, look, anyone who is a fan of anybody who has bought merch on tour, I feel like we can all suffer together that some artist merch is just not it.
Yeah, no.
For the price that they're at, you know, some of those 50, 60, 70 pound sweatshirts, you buy them and you're like, it was a memory of a great night, but also, was it really worth however much I paid for it? Plus shipping sometimes, do you know?
I've got this one specific merch of a K-pop band in mind that is just so incredible. It's like a huge meme. I don't know if I should name drop the band.
Wait, I feel like we've learned from this. Don't name drop.
Yeah.
We've learned from before.
Well,
we won't name drop.
So I'll tell Emma what I'm referring to, but we're going to take this bit
Okay, and
out,
we'll
so
cut
you'll
it.
just have to forever be curious.
Maddie, what is this?
I love it so much. I want to buy it just for how hilarious it is.
This makes me sad, Maddie. How much was it to buy?
Oh, I didn't purchase it at the time, unfortunately.
How much was it on retail? Do you know? Do you remember?
No, I would imagine like 50 plus pounds. I would imagine.
Yeah, at least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you imagine,
You know what
if there are fans that are ordering and shipping from Korea to wherever they are in the world, that's plus anywhere between 10 to 20 in shipping as well.
Oh, I've paid like £30 shipping for something before and then had to pay £16 customs.
Oh my God.
And it was a hat, MA.
I don't feel like I have a spiritual connection to my bank account, but in that moment I felt like I had a spiritual connection to my bank account and it was crying at me.
Yeah. But I was saying, I know this would not work efficiency-wise, and also her hands would fall off probably. But if she did extremely limited, handmade merch, an expensive price would be very justified. But I was looking through her Instagram to see it for myself, and I love her style. She really has got some good style.
This is why I genuinely think she's she's a one to watch, like a star for the future, because it's
she's got the look,
she
got the sound.
has the vision for herself. She knows what her sound is. She knows how she wants to impact people and how she feels that she can help with change in the industry. And she just, like you said, she has that image.
Woo!
And she's only going to get better from here. So
keep your eye on AlienBlaze.
Keep your eye on AlienBlaze, and that was why I was very excited to do this episode.
Woo!
As always, we are going towards our last little section before the very final bit where you can hear what AlienBlaze's sign-off is, because that's awesome too. But we have obviously the exchange, and because there is no guest on, and we did not have time to ask AlienBlaze what she wanted to add to the exchange, we are going to finally be able to come back to our two little exchange topics.
Nay. Am I going to do this every time?
I mean, you can nay as much as you want. Be free, you know. May I start with my contribution about horses?
Yeah, so tell me everything you have learnt.
Well, what
in the homework I've set you on.
Really wanted to, firstly, I think I love the Falabella now. I think
the tiny horse.
It is a tiny horse. So Maddie charged me with looking up the Falabella, which is a tiny horse, which peaks at kind of 34 inches, which is
so cute.
It's tiny and it's adorable, and it's almost like a little dog. And every time I look at it, I am beside myself. It's just adorable. But something I also wanted to mention, in the spirit of horses, and also because by the time this episode comes out, obviously the Olympics will have ended, but the Paralympics will be starting soon, is Paralympic equestrian, otherwise known as para-equestrian. And I wanted to bring that because I was like, Maddie is making me learn loads about horses.
Woo!
And how can we big up the Paralympics, because people don't talk about the Paralympics enough. So we've smushed the two together. And obviously there's dressage, and I don't watch even dressage in the Olympics much, but they have team dressage and solo dressage, and it's very cool. And I didn't know that they had equestrian at the Paralympics, but now I do, and now everyone else does, and it's very cool.
When is it on?
The Paralympics are on from Wednesday the 28th of August to Sunday the 8th of September. So this episode will come out before then, but you know that it's coming
out soon.
Yes. So look forward to it.
Switch the TVs on.
Yes, I think it's Channel 4 that broadcasts it in the UK. Switch on the Paralympics, support the Paralympians, and it's very cool.
And the horse Olympians.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my contribution from learning and being encouraged by you always to learn more about horses. Maddie, what have you brought back regarding Star Wars?
So when I was watching it, I was thinking, is it not meant to be obvious that one, I can't remember the names of the characters, but Keira Knightley is Natalie Portman, and two, Palpatine is the dude that like talks to
See, this is
the
so
Queen.
interesting.
Like it was so obvious to me. I did notice, from the first film, Phantom Menace. Well, not the first made, but this is the one that I watched. It was really stunning with, oh my word, what was the planet called? I was thinking I want to live there.
Naboo.
With like all the flowers and stuff. Before war and all that. Beautiful planet. So yeah, stunning, absolutely stunning movie. I mean, that's what you expect with a high budget film set in space on alien planets and communities. But I did notice there was a lot of like inspiration culturally from various things in our world, which makes sense because it's hard to come up with something completely new without being either intentionally or unintentionally inspired by things. But I did pick up that a little bit, and it was interesting to see the variety.
Any other thoughts on Star Wars?
I'm excited to watch the next piece.
Whee!
Very excited.
Where do you think it's gonna go? What are your predictions? Do you have any?
Well, I know that Anakin goes bad, unfortunately, but how he gets there, I do not know. I also know the actor playing his like adult form, his is very pretty. So looking forward to those scenes.
Hayden Christensen is getting a boost.
Like, look at the hair. Oh my word! I'm very excited. That's not the only reason I'm excited to watch the next movies.
No, I mean we all have eyes. We all see what we see.
Yeah,
it's all good.
The Star Wars men have got some good hair, though.
Yeah, that's
Solo.
true. That's true. Very true.
Then it was 80s. They did love their hair. Was it 80s?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
So you're excited for the hair, excited to see what happens with
I love
Anakin.
Leia's hair.
Yeah.
Do you think I look a bit like Leia right now?
Iconic.
With the headphones.
Yeah. For reference, everybody, Maddie's got headphones on and she's put little flowers in to get that summer vibe going. We love that. So shall we transition? We will transition to our very, very final segment, which is, of course, where we just give you a little sign off. Maddie, what are you thinking?
Go find a petting zoo that has a tiny horse and give it a nice little kiss on the forehead.
Can you do that? Is that a thing? Like,
I don't know. I was just thinking where they would have falabellas.
Because I remember,
I thought maybe a petting zoo.
I was at a zoo in New York last year, and there was a cow, and we just hung out for a little bit, and I did feel a lot of peace just hanging out with that cow for about 10 minutes. I've never felt so...
Was it a fluffy cow?
It was a cow with very big horns. It wasn't fluffy.
Oh, okay.
But they were just chilling. I say they because I'm not sure about the gender. They were just chilling, and I was standing there, and then they came up to, the fence, and I said hi because I'm the kind of person that will say hi to a cow.
Yeah.
And we just stood and chilled, and it was great.
Emma really is the type of person to say hi to a cow.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I've got to give my message.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Watch the Paralympics.
Yeah.
Watch the Paralympics. And we will end with AlienBlaze's lovely final message.
Woo.
I think I'd like my sign-off message to be, well, what used to be my Instagram bio for ages was, it's almost a little cringe, but I still live by it to this day, as that 14-year-old in me who missed so much school and then found it really, really hard to get back into the system, as it were, is I always used to say, don't belong, kid, and don't let this world kill your dreams.
I love that. That's beautiful. You need to get that on a t-shirt someday. That's
probably,
lush.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it was such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I love your fashion, so very excited to see what you do with it.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks.
AlienBlaze merch for one day.
Yeah, I was about to say that. You beat me to it.
Great minds, Maddie.
Mhm.
Great minds.
Great minds.
Yeah. Thanks as always for joining us.
Thank you,
Go check
everyone.
out AlienBlaze. All her details are going to be in the episode description as usual. And take care. Have a good one.
Go hug a tiny horse.
Bye.
Bye.